This is what people are crying out for. People want to own farms. We are here to make it possible for you to own it.
Last year, the ABC reported that the average age of a farmer in Australia was 56, 17 years older than the average Australian worker. As a young person in this country, I can have my apprenticeship subsidised, access youth allowance, use HECS debt to further my education, and even get a first home buyer's grant to access the housing market. But if you think buying your first home's hard, I'd say try buying your first farm. Without young people in the industry, the security of Australia's food production future is bleak. So what is the Australian government doing to encourage young people into agriculture?
Thank you Q&A for even putting this question up in the spotlights. We appreciate it. We just want to encourage better and more in-depth discussion in the agriculture industry around farm ownership. This is what people are crying out for. People want to own farms. We are here to make it possible for you to own it. We need your support to build momentum. It's absolutely possible for you to own a farm. Again, I'm going to repeat it. It's all about how much you want it and how much you're prepared to work and build those relationships. That is what we're here for. We want to build momentum so we can find more and more farm opportunities for you. But anyone can be a farmer. Let's take you from zero to farmer and let's get thousands of next generation farmers back to regional Australia.
Go back to Rakan. Are you in a position where, do you have parents who are farming, or are you actually trying to break in and buy a farm and become a farmer?
Oh, look, I have family who owns farms, yes, but you can't expect to be just handed a farm, especially when my parents may not retire until 60 or 70.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be affordable at some point for young people to be able to get into the farming industry. And I can't speak for every area in Australia, but I know in this area, to be able to afford even a small farm is close to $1 million, which is just unaffordable for young people.
David, this is a problem, isn't it? Okay, there are plenty of other ways you could get into agriculture, as Fiona just said, but the idea of starting and becoming a farmer from scratch is pretty difficult.
The idea of starting a farm from scratch is the best. We are pumped for this idea. We're calling it Zero to Farmer. We want the absolute best in the Australian industry in Australia, full stop, to become farmers, and we want to tell you it is absolutely possible to own a farm. If you have a little dream inside your heart that you want to follow and become a farmer, we're saying it is possible. We want to stop you becoming a lawyer. We want you to stop you becoming an agronomist. We want you to follow that dream. It is absolutely possible. It might just take 10 years to get there, but there's a pathway. We're here to help. Again, you need to be the best. You need to prove yourself, and you need to build relationships with people who can help you get onto your farm.
But how do we disrupt the capital markets? How do we get away from the traditional capital markets we've got, or the traditional banks in this country? The Big Four lend nearly more on credit cards to personal Australians than what they do to the agricultural sector. There's about $52 billion out there on credit cards, and there's $60 billion in ag debt. So are they really serious about financing the agricultural sector? Well, to me, it suggests not. We've got to look at different capital markets and matching the capital that's there with the human capital, because we want to bring these young people home. And what we've got to do is make sure they can make a quid, because invariably if they make a quid, they'll come home.
Capital markets is a great question. Where is the money coming from? There are many different ways of getting the investment you need to get on your farm. Banks are just one of them. Equity crowdfunding, we're exploring that with Domacom. There are people in your community who would love to buy a farm, don't know how to, have no idea how to buy it or run it. You're their solution. There are retired farmers with money in the bank trying to figure out how to put it in the share market, and we're saying put it into local farms that you know everything about and can make a good return for you. We want the idea of community-owned funds set up deliberately to attract next generation farmers onto farms in your community and to help retiring farmers step back. There are so many different avenues for investment. It's just about being creative and clever and thinking about those opportunities so we can get you onto your farm.